Exact Sciences will not be expanding in the Judge Doyle Square project originally planned for downtown Madison. We'll have the details, plus the best decluttering tips to stage your home for sale. Keep it here. Your real estate news starts now. Thank you for watching the Real Estate News. I'm your host, Stacey Hansen. Let's look at your headlines. Exact Sciences will not be expanding in the Judge Doyle Square project as originally planned for downtown Madison. The biotech company announced it will keep its headquarters at the University Research Park and expand there. The move comes a few weeks after a draft U.S. Preventative Services Task Force report suggested the company's colorectal cancer screening test be used as an alternative screening test and not a recommended test. The company's stock value plummeted as a result. The Cap Times reports that Madison Mayor Paul Soglin will work with Exact Sciences and University Research Park to establish the company's headquarters there. Meanwhile, the three other proposals for the Judge Doyle Square project that were submitted in May will now be updated and considered by the city. The project site would be encompassing the 2 blocks housing the Government East parking ramp and the Madison Municipal Building in downtown Madison. If you've been thinking about buying and no longer renting, now may be the time. A new Rent.com survey shows that 88% of property managers raised their rent in the last year, and that trend is expected to continue. 68% of property managers anticipate their rental rates rising by an average of 8% again next year. That rent increase is almost 3 times the pay raise the typical worker will get this year. Rent.com also found in their survey that over half of property managers were not likely to offer lower rents to fill vacancies. One reason for that is the continuing decrease in rental vacancies. In fact, current apartment vacancy rates are the lowest they've been in almost 20 years, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. Decluttering is often the first thing on the mind of those trying to stage a home for sale. As you embark, keep in mind Realty Today's 5 things not to do when decluttering. First, sort out the things you have and the perfect storage technique for each before you make the common mistake of buying lots of those pretty containers you have no use for. Second, break the work up into 2 to 3 hour stretches over multiple days. You'll be more efficient and feel less burned out than if you try to do it all in one day. Third, take the things you've set aside for donation to the donation center right away. If you procrastinate on taking it in, you'll risk having that big box sitting in your house, undermining all your hard work. Fourth, understand that home organization is a lifestyle, not an event. You'll still be dealing with everyday clutter, but at least you'll have developed a new system that is more efficient than the old one. And lastly, know when to quit. Your closets are a functional space used by an actual human being and not a photo from a magazine or catalog. Those have teams of stylists at the ready, while most of us do not. Stick around, we'll have more coming up right after this. Welcome back to the Real Estate News. My next guest is Kirsten Goggin from Century 21 Affiliated. Welcome back, Kirsten. Nice to have you here again.
Thank you, Stacy. How is your fall treating you?
Oh, very well. It's my favorite time of year. Now, you also say that fall is the perfect time to list. That's contrary to what a lot of people say.
It's a great time to list. And I know everybody thinks wait until spring, and they think the holidays are so busy, no one's going to come look. But that couldn't be further from the truth. People look all year long. January is traditionally the month for employers to bring on new employees. So, and often, especially if they're relocating from out of state, they don't have time to come back, or in the earlier fall or in the spring to find. So you have to be on the market for them to be able to see your house and buy it. There's a reason people need to move all year round, and if your house isn't listed, then you miss the opportunity. And it's supply and demand. So if there aren't many properties for sale and somebody needs to buy, you're going to get more for your house. So it gives you an opportunity to be a non-contingent buyer in the spring. So you're essentially going to be selling high, and then once the spring market hits, you can be buying low. So it makes a lot of sense. Also, just homes show nicer during the holidays, so they're decorated so well, and buyers tend to be a little bit more emotional, so it's all the homey, this is our home, and that has shown that they often will pay more for your home as well. You can set restrictions around showing time so that you don't have someone showing up during Thanksgiving dinner. So you don't have to show during the actual holidays, but having it available is going to help you get it sold. Also, some people have to sell for tax reasons, so they have to buy before the end of the year. So there's just so many reasons that you should list your house now and not miss all these buyers. There will be fewer showings, but I don't see that as a negative because they're more serious buyers. They're not just out looking around, seeing what's out there. They actually need to buy a property. And if you're wanting to get your house sold for top dollar, got to have it available.
Right, those are a lot of good reasons that people normally really wouldn't think about. Now you're offering an incentive for people who list through November. Details on that?
Yeah, so I've had a fabulous problem this year that most of my listings have been selling right away. So I've got very low inventory. So I've got a few different packages that always fits the needs, and I can always make them fit if we have a really special, unique need for a property. But even my basic silver package offers professional photos. He'll photograph, you can put 25 photos on the MLS, but usually I get 40 to 50. And then there's a separate property website, so 123main.com or whatever, where I can have all of your photos and all of the documents related to your home and all that great stuff. Also, he does a wonderful video tour where it zooms in from Google Earth, so you can kind of see how it's laid out. This is especially awesome on properties that back up to green space or that are on a quiet cul-de-sac or on the lake. So that's included no matter what. But on some of my other packages, like my silver, I offer a CW commercial for your property alone that will air until it sells. And then I also offer cleaners that will clean after you move out, so it's one less thing to have to worry about. And in that package, I also include a UHP home warranty, which will cover you from the time you list until close, and then the buyer for 1 year on appliances, mechanicals. So that's really great, even if it's just for peace of mind, but sometimes it's helpful during the inspection as well. So I'm willing to throw in some of the silver package perks into the gold package perks into my silver package for people that are going to be listing in November. And I also will give a 1% discount if you're also going to be using me on the buy side. So if you're not familiar, commission's usually a seller paid cost in Wisconsin. So I can discount it even though I'm giving you more on the sell side of your home because I'll be making it up when the seller of the property you're buying pays me instead of you.
Those are great reasons to list now. Now you also have a home scouting report. Just quickly, can you remind people how to sign up for that?
Yes, so people that are looking or just curious or whatever, or just love real estate, there's the home scouting report. You can access it from a computer, or there's also a mobile app. So if you go to your Google or Apple store, just type in home scouting report, and it is direct MLS access. It is more accurate. I've been told by many buyers that they get updates on new listings and price reductions a full day or two quicker than some of the other bigger named secondary sites because this one is direct access to the MLS. You can't get anything quicker unless you get a direct email from your realtor. And also, I think the most important thing about it is that they don't sell the information. So if you've noticed, if you've put in a search and maybe inquired about a home, asked for more information, now your phone's ringing, you got a million emails, you're set up on all these newsletters. We don't do that. I will personally follow up if you want information on a house. And my lender partner, Anissa Baker, might get in touch with you to see if you have any financing needs. But besides that, you're not going to be getting a ton of unwanted phone calls all day long.
Well, thanks again for stopping by, Kirsten. It was wonderful to talk to you again.
Thanks, so great to see you.
Stay tuned, we'll have more coming up right after this. Welcome back to the Real Estate News. My next guest is Evan Wing. He's a business banking officer at River Valley Bank. They're one of our news partners. Welcome, Evan. So nice to have you here.
Hey, thanks very much, Stacey. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, what types of loans do you do?
At River Valley Bank, we do both on the home lending side, but then I primarily focus on the commercial lending side. So that can be anything from a line of credit for a company's working capital, if they need to purchase some new equipment, owner-occupied real estate, investment real estate in some cases, floor plan financing for different dealerships. So pretty much whatever the needs of a business are, we can customize some type of a loan program to help get whatever type of needs that they are met. So.
Now you have a small business administration. Can you explain how it can help a business get financing?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Small Business Administration, or the SBA, that's a government entity that really helps promote the growth of small business. So in two types of financing, there's conventional financing as well as some that are helped by the SBA. So in an instance where a business may not have enough collateral or enough money down to help get them, which one of the types of loans that I just mentioned, the government can come in and help guarantee part of that loan. So think of it as kind of a large cosigner in the event that the unthinkable happens when a business doesn't perform as well as it thinks it's going to, it doesn't hit its projections, then the bank is kind of rest assured that the government can come in and help take care of some of that collateral. So normally there's two sources of repayment, either by cash flow or there's collateral. And we prefer to have a business be able to make enough profit to service or pay for all of its debt needs or all of its debt payments. But in the event that the cash flow isn't there, if a business goes out of business, then we've got the collateral to help step in. So by the government helping to guarantee that, a bank can get made whole on a transaction where otherwise we wouldn't be 100% covered on.
Now, how cost effective is it to use SBA's lending programs?
Yeah, sure. So right now, very cost effective, especially on loans that are $150,000 or smaller. The SBA has waived any type of guarantee fee, where normally there's a percentage or a loan fee, usually 3% or 3.5% or even 3.75% as the loan gets higher. But currently, as the government is really trying to encourage small businesses to get out there to do what it needs to grow, that is waived completely for $150,000 and under. Over that, like I said, you could be looking at 3 to 3.75%. But again, if an owner is expecting to make larger returns, a higher return on their money than 3%, it's very cost effective, especially when you're looking at margins of 20 to 30% sometimes.
So how many SBA loans do you do?
We actually, as a bank, River Valley Bank does quite a few. We're actually it's called a PLP program, or the Preferred Lender Program. So we have the ability, and the SBA, in a nutshell, trusts our bank enough where if it passes our underwriting standards, then we're able to say, okay, this meets the SBA's guidelines for approval, so we can actually approve those in-house. We still need to get an authorization from the SBA, but it's not necessarily a rubber stamp, but again, they trust us enough to do that. And even with that, River Valley Bank was actually just named, we have 2 lenders out of our Wausau market that were just named part of the Elite Lending Program through Wisconsin Business Development. And what that means is that each of them, Mike Collins and Sarah Nepgezik, had each done 2 SBA 504 programs. They had each done more than 10 each, so 20 loans combined. So that they're part of the inaugural class of just WBD's and SBA's way of thanking lenders for really pushing to help small businesses.
Well, congratulations on that. That's wonderful.
Yeah, thank you.
So changing direction a little bit, the million-dollar question, where are interest rates headed, do you think?
Yeah, funny you should ask that. That's actually, as of recent weeks, Fed Chairman Yellen has actually hinted at a possible rate increase in December. And so with the prime rate, it's currently at 3.25%, hasn't really moved in the last, probably since 2008 or maybe even sooner. And so with that, there have been a lot of waiting to see what some of our economic data is telling us. We're hoping to hit a 2% inflationary rate. We're hoping that the gross domestic product, or GDP, is really starting to thrive. So numbers have been encouraging. There's been some hesitancy to increase that rate. Global markets are obviously affected by the US markets as well. We're still kind of that benchmark within the global economy. So anything that we do here in the States can absolutely affect other markets. So there's been a lot of outside pressure from various countries saying, hey, hold off on that. But we've got the economic data to pretty much support, or we're at least, the Fed thinks that it support, raising interest rates in the short-term future. So.
Great information. Thanks for stopping by today, Evan.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, and stay tuned. We'll have more coming up right after this. Welcome back to the Real Estate News. With me now is Tracy Dawson. She's the president of Sarah Investment Real Estate. Welcome, Tracy. Nice to have you here.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Great. Now, how long has Sarah Investment Real Estate been around?
Sarah Investment Real Estate was founded in 1997 and is located here in Madison, Wisconsin.
Okay, nice and local. Now, you focus on the Midwest region. How is it that you're able to maintain this focus?
We have 3 additional offices as well. We have locations in Minneapolis, Milwaukee, and St. Louis, in addition to our Madison location. And really being able to have those offices allows us to keep our finger on the pulse of the Midwest market and to stay up to speed on current trends in all of those areas, so we just have the most recent data at all times.
Now, what types of properties do you look for, and how do you decide which properties that you're going to pursue?
Well, we're a commercial real estate investment firm, so we focus primarily on retail, office, industrial, and mixed-use projects. And on any given year, our development team will evaluate anywhere from 300 to 500 projects. From those, we'll select anywhere from 10 to 20 to really run through a thorough and detailed due diligence process. And this long process really allows us to just make sure that we continue to provide the high-quality opportunities to our clients that they're used to seeing.
Now, how many properties are currently incorporated in your company's portfolio?
Sure. Sarah Investment Real Estate manages a portfolio of 75 properties located in 30 cities throughout the Midwest. That portfolio consists of about 2.7 million square feet and is valued just over $230 million.
Wow. Now, what sets your company apart?
At Sarah Investment Real Estate, we really strive to be a one-stop shop. So through our in-house property management, development, construction management, leasing, asset management, and investor relations departments, we really have the ability to provide a solid, reliable, single point of accountability for our clients.
Now, how can someone learn more if they're interested in taking part in your services?
We would love to hear from anyone. You can reach us direct via phone at 608-852-8777, or we're available at www.sarahinvest.com.
Now, just a couple seconds left. Any last tips for our viewers?
No, you know, it's an interesting market. It's a dynamic market. It's a great time to learn more about what's happening with commercial investment real estate, and it's done right, it can actually be great to get involved, and we can really make the process easy.
Well, great. Thanks so much for stopping by today, Tracy.
Great, thank you.
And stay tuned. We'll have more coming up right after this. Welcome back to the Real Estate News. With me now is Diane Holmes. She's a realtor at RE/MAX Preferred and one of our news partners. Welcome back, Diane. Great to have you here again.
Thank you, Stacy. I appreciate you having me back.
Absolutely.
So for the people who don't know me, I'm Diane Holmes with RE/MAX, as Stacy said, and I've been selling real estate for 25 years. I work with buyers and sellers, and I've sold over 1,000 homes. And during the last segment, we talked about how to buy a home, and I thought during this segment, we'd talk about how to get your home sold.
That's a great idea. So if you are thinking about it, where do you even begin?
Well, of course, the first step is to call your realtor. So that we can get together and discuss your plans and the timing. The timing is crucial, depending if you're going to be purchasing another home or if you're going to be relocating out of the area. I would determine a price at that time by preparing a market study on your home, which compares all the features of your current home with the other homes that have sold in your neighborhood recently, usually within the past 6 months. Then also I prepare a net sheet, which is important to you to find out what you will receive in the form of a check at closing. And so I get all of your seller's costs, which includes the commission and title work and your current mortgage on the home, and I'll let you know what to expect approximately at the time of closing.
Okay, so that's very good information, but what if your home needs some repairs before you put on the market?
Yeah, and right. So the next thing we do is prepare your home for sale. I set up a free pre-listing home inspection, and if necessary, I coordinate the contractor, the painters, a stager, and we get your home in the best possible condition that we can. Not only just to get the best price, of course, but also so there's no surprises when a buyer brings their inspector through later on. Next, I order the photographer, the videographer. I put your home on the MLS listing service, which has over 1,300 realtors, and they can match up that listing with any buyers that they may be working with at the time. Also, it goes on over 900 websites, and we can even advertise your home here on the CW channel.
That's great.
Right, then the showings start, and always with your knowledge and permission.
So what happens once you get an offer? Everything's gone well, then what happens?
Well, right, so then we get the offer, and you have the right to accept it, reject it, or counter it. And normally we go through all the terms of the offer, and we usually end up countering the offer. And then we come to terms where it's acceptable to both parties. And at that point, I monitor the contingencies, get you through the inspection, which should go very smoothly. And I set up the closing, I set up the title work for you, and we meet at the closing company to surrender your keys of your old home, and you receive the net, the check at closing.
Very exciting. So I have to ask you, what's the best time of year to sell?
Oh, that's a really good question. So normally for a seller, it's March, April, and May are traditionally the very best months to sell. The sellers get the highest price. But if you do need to sell during the winter time, just be aware that there's a lot of companies who have relocation during that period, and there are some sales that take place. Generally, the higher dollar homes will sell over the winter.
Well, thanks so much, Diana. It was great to see you again.
Oh, you too, Stacy. Thank you so much.
Sure, and you stay tuned. We'll have more coming up right after this. From all of us here, I want to thank our guests for stopping by and all of you for tuning in to your real estate news. I'm Stacy Hansen. We'll see you next time.